Manipulating. Hello everyone. So we will be going through the rest of the commands from our room on tryhackme. That was the Linux fundamentals part one. So we are going to open that room right now. So for that we are going to click on learn. Then we'll be going into complete beginner path. And here we have our Linux fundamentals. Now I would like to apologize for just a moment. Person. Hey, hi Praveen, thanks for joining.
Yeah,
So
hi,
we
Amit.
just started actually. So I'll be just so right now so far we are in our Linux fundamentals, and
Okay.
yesterday we
So,
talked of yeah.
yeah, so that's what I'm going to ask. So, what did I missed yesterday?
So just the basic commands, but I would upload it on the YouTube. I
Mhm.
couldn't do
Yeah,
it
I know.
yesterday actually,
So,
but yeah. So only the basic commands like this echo, who am I, and then four other commands are there like ls, cd, cat, and pwd. If you are already aware of the basic use of this, that's fine.
okay, okay, Hemant.
Okay, so that's all. So I
Yeah.
will start once again. So uh, yesterday we talked about the basic Linux commands under the Linux Fundamentals Part 1 room on tryhackme. So the commands that we discussed yesterday were echo, who am I, then we had ls, cd, cat, and pwd. And I will just do a quick recap. Ls we use for listing the directories or files in your current directory or in any other directory, you can say. Cd we use to change our directory or folder, you can say. Cat we use to read a file, and pwd actually prints your current working directory name. So wherever you are, it will print that path. Okay, so that's all in brief. Now we didn't complete the questions under this section yesterday. And one more thing I would like to apologize. Last time when we started this machine under the task 3, when we clicked on start machine actually, and I told you guys that once we start the machine, we'll get an IP here. So because I have already started the machine, I can see the IP here. But instead of accessing this machine on which we are supposed to run all of these commands, we started our attacker box directly from here. And we were running all these commands on that attack box actually. And the attack box is actually a Kali OS. Uh, and we were supposed to run those commands on this particular IP. Okay. So how we are supposed to access this particular machine? As soon as you start the machine and you are able to see the IP address, okay, you will see a button right here that will be show split view. Once you click on this, okay, the screen would be splitted in half, and the machine that right now you see, okay, that is the machine on which we are supposed to run all of these commands, okay. So last time when we ran the command here, that was who am I actually? Uh, it was supposed to give us tryhackme, because that was the user we are logged in with on this particular machine. But in the last session, I said it was showing root because of some reason. Why it was showing root? Because we were running the who am I command on the attack box, which is Kali OS actually. So we were running all those commands on that Kali machine. That is why it was returning root. We were not supposed to run on that Kali machine actually. We were supposed to run it on this machine that we can access once we start the machine and click on that show split view button. Okay. So now we can see that the answer is correct. The output that we get when we run the whoami command is tryhackme only, which is correct. Okay. Now we are going to complete this task 5. We already discussed these commands last time. Apart from these commands, we just learned about one basic command, that is clear, which is used to clear the terminal actually. So once I click on once I enter the command clear, it will clear the terminal. Now what I will do, I will go into the full screen mode by clicking on this button right now, because it's going to be a bit difficult to see all the
Yeah,
output
yeah.
in that
Could you
screen
please
actually.
share your,
Sorry.
could you please share your screen, Hemant?
Okay, okay, you should have. Okay, my bad. Just a moment. Okay, my bad regarding this one. Is it visible now?
Yeah, yeah, now it's visible.
Okay, okay. See, what I was saying yesterday when we were completing this lab, okay, we were supposed to run the commands on this machine. Like when we click on the start machine, we get an IP here, right? We were supposed to run all these commands on this particular IP actually. However, what we did was we started the attack box actually here by clicking on attack box. And that way, what we did, we started our Kali machine in the browser itself. And we were running all these commands on that Kali machine. Why? We were supposed to run it on this particular IP address. Okay. So that is why when yesterday we ran the command, who am I to complete this particular question, right? Like what is the username that we get whenever we run the who am I command? We were getting root actually in the output. Why we were getting the root? Because we were running it on the Kali machine, and on Kali machine we are logged in as root user actually, okay, by default. But the correct answer that we are supposed to give here is tryhackme. Okay. Now why this discrepancy happened? Because we were not running it on this particular machine. Okay. That this particular IP or like whatever machine we are supposed to start by clicking on this machine, this button. Okay. So how we are supposed to access that machine? If we scroll up, okay, after clicking on start machine and after you can see the IP address here, you are supposed to click on show split view button. You are not supposed to click on start attack box, okay? So once you click on show a split view, you would be able to see a particular terminal only, okay? It is only a terminal access, okay? You don't see the graphical interface of this operating system, okay? So this from this terminal only we are supposed to run all the commands, okay? And now see if I run that command, who am I here? Who am I will get the correct answer here. So yesterday, because we were running it on the Kali machine, we were getting root while we were supposed to run it on this machine. Okay, you got my point, right? How on what machine you are supposed to run these commands? You are supposed to run these commands on this particular IP, and how you will be able to access it once you click on that show split view, you will be able to access this machine. Okay. Now, apart from these basic commands, echo, who am I, and a few other commands that we discussed last time, ls, cd, cat, and pwd, we discussed one more command that was clear. Okay, why do we use clear? We use clear to clear the terminal actually. So I will again use it to clear my terminal. Okay, now again we'll start with these basic commands to complete the questions that we have in this particular lab. Okay. Now I will click here to move into the full screen mode because it's going to be a bit difficult to see within this split view. So that's why I'm using this full screen mode. Is the output clear for all of you, or should I zoom in a little bit? Okay, it is not zooming in actually.
Yeah, it's clear for me, but
Okay, okay, okay. Just go into the full screen mode if you want. Okay. Now see,
yeah,
first
okay.
question that we have on the Linux machine that we deployed, right? This machine, how many folders there are? Okay, how we are supposed to find it out? I will clear the screen once again, and to list down what folders or what files are there, we can use ls command. So now there are like whatever is in blue, okay, that those are folders. Okay, one other way we can verify is using ls-l, and wherever we see a d in front of that file, that is a directory or a folder, right? So we have uh, one, two, three, four folders here, only one file, that is access.log. Wherever there is a hyphen, that is a file. Okay. So we got four folders. So we are going to put four here and click on submit. That is correct, right? Which directory contains a file? Okay, it is asking us which directory contains a file. So we are supposed to, I guess we are supposed to go into each and every directory and see which one contains a file. Okay, or just a moment, I will use pwd command. Pwd is used to show where are we right now. Okay, so we are in slash within root, that we also call, we call root as slash as well. So within root we are in home directory, and within that we are in the tryhackme directory right now. Now we are supposed to check which directory contains a file actually, right? So we are supposed to give that name. So how we can do that? We can go into each directory and use ls command to list down the content of that directory. Okay, so we are going to go into folder one first of all, and then we will use ls. Okay, it doesn't contain any file. We are going to go back using cd space dot dot. We are out of that, and again if I ls, I can see that we have these folders right now. I'm going to go into the folder 2 now. Again, if I put ls, there is no file here. Again, I'm going to go back. Again, I will go into folder 3 ls. There is no file. Again, I will go out. Again, we'll be moving into the folder 4 at last. It should be having some file, right? So the folder that contains a file, that is folder 4. Right, and it is asking what is the contents of file. Why it's asking these specific questions? Because it wants us to use these particular commands only that we discussed so far, right? So to read a file, what we can use, we already discussed, we can use the cat command. Okay, I will again clear the screen right now. And now, as we can see, using ls, we have this node.txt. How we can read it? We can use cat space note.txt. So the content is hello world and the exclamation mark. So hello world exclamation mark. Okay, so we answered that one clearly. Use the cd command to navigate to this file and find out the new current working directory. What is the path? Okay, just a moment. So now what it wants, it's asking us like go to this particular like access the path of this particular file and then run the pwd command to show where exactly you are. So once we run the pwd command, we know that we are at this path. We are supposed to copy it actually. We have already copied it. Once you select it, it automatically gets copied actually. And once you put it here and click on submit, that is the correct answer. So that's all regarding these commands and the questions regarding these commands. Okay, so we are done with this particular scenario. So as you can see, now we have a tick here. Now we are going to move on to the next commands. In brief, if I tell you, we are only going to discuss three commands right here. That would be find command. Another one is a grep command, and one more that we don't already know, that is a wc command. Okay, these three commands we will be discussing. Now I will give you a context why we are supposed to learn about these commands. Okay, suppose you right now, right, on this particular machine, I will just a moment, I will go to the beginning. Okay, I will go out of this. See, right now we have these four folders, correct? And we have a file as well here. I will clear the screen. We have these four folders. We have one file here as well. Now, suppose if this folder one contained one another folder, okay, and that folder contained one more folder, right? So, like there are multiple folders within uh, every folder. That's what you can. And now you don't remember a particular file name, but you want to find the path of that particular file. Okay, like on Windows, what we can do, we directly have the search right here, right? That we can use to find any file. Similarly, on Linux terminal, if you want to find a particular file which whose name you know already, okay, you can use the command find. Okay, because what we don't want to do, we don't want to use cd and ls command to go into each and every directory and use ls command to list down the content to find that file, right? That's going to be a lot harder for us, right? Like we are not going to do like this. We won't be moving into each and every folder and use ls to find out what is there. Now if there are more folders, we will need to go into each and every folder to check what is the content there, right? We are not going to do that. If we know a particular file name already, what we can do, we can use the find command to find a particular file. Now here it is it is giving us a scenario. Okay, in case you guys want to read all of this in depth, okay, for better understanding, you should definitely do that as well. Okay, I'm just explaining things in brief and focusing on the commands mostly. Okay, but you guys should definitely read this content as well for better understanding. right? Now, just a moment. Okay, okay. So what is it showing us here? That if we know a particular file name, okay, we can use the find command to find that particular file name. Okay. So now, as we already know, right, there is a file within these folders that is note.txt, but we don't know within which folder it is. Okay. So we what we can do, we can use find command like this. Find space hyphen name and then the name of that file. What it will do, wherever we are, okay, we are um, again just a moment before running this command, we are in the home, and within that we are in the tryhackme directory, and in tryhackme directory we have these many folders and files. Okay, so wherever we this run this find command, it is going to search all the folders in the current path only. Okay, it's not going to search within the root actually. Okay, it will start searching within the tryhackme directory. So how we can do that? We have to put find space hyphen name node.txt. As soon as we run, it will clearly tell us that the directory is folder for node.txt. Now, what is this dot in the beginning? Dot always means your current directory only. Okay, like wherever you are, it means wherever you are, and in that there is a folder for. Okay, so we are here in the home directory in tryhackme. Here, when we list the content, we have a folder for, right? So in our current directory only we have a folder 4. That's what it means. Okay, and within that there is a node.txt, and that is correct as well, as we already verified last time, right? We when we moved into that directory and used ls to show the content, it is correct. Now I will come out of it again, right? Now there is one more scenario, that suppose you don't remember the exact name of the file, okay, but you remember that it is a text file, or it is a PHP file, or it is a uh, uh, you can say a Java file, right? So you know the extension of the file, but you do not exactly remember what is the full name of that particular file. Okay, still you can use find command to find such files. Okay, so how we can do that? We have to use find space hyphen name, and we are supposed to use star. Okay, that is a special character that you can use, and then dot txt. Now, what does this mean? Okay, it means that find me all the files that are ending with .txt. If I have a, MP4 file, what I can do is star.mp4. Like find me all the files that are ending with .mp4. And star means it could be replaced with any string, okay, any name, any word it can be replaced with. Okay, so when we run this particular command, find space hyphen name space star.txt, it will find all the text files in my current path. Okay. When I press enter, you can see I still found that file, right? And why it is showing only one file that is ending with .txt? Because that's all we have right now within our current path, right? There is no other text files. If there were multiple txt files, it would have shown us all those txt files right here. Okay. And any questions regarding this find command? Uh, we only discussed two scenarios. One where we know the name of the exact file that we want to search. Another is where we don't know the exact name of that file, but we know the extension of that file. Do you have any questions so far?
No, Imat, I'm good.
Okay, okay, fine. So that's all. That's what is discussed here already. See here, when they talked about the search for star.txt, they found multiple files, right? Why? Because there were multiple files within that directory, okay? But we don't have any. So that's why we only found one .txt. Now, moving on to this command, that is using grep, okay? Now, why exactly we need grep? Grep is a command that you can use to search for a particular word or a particular line within a file. Okay. For example, I will give you a scenario. Suppose you found a file on someone else's system, okay, and you know for sure that within that file somewhere there is a password stored. Okay, like password keyword is there. I'll just give you an example. Like within that file, you have somewhere password equals to, and it the value of that password is the actual password of that person's account on Gmail, you can say. Now you want, because it's a lengthy file, you cannot go through the whole file because you don't have enough time to go through it manually. Okay, like by scrolling down. Okay, you don't have that much of time. So what you can do, you can use the grep command to look for this specific word only. Okay, password equals to within that file. Okay, how we are supposed to do that? Uh, that is just the example, but what we are going to do here right now, we have one file, right? We have access.log, right? And if I show you the content of this file with the cat command, okay? And now suppose if we try to look for password equals to within this file or something else manually within this file, okay? It is going to be very difficult for us, right? Because see, this is a log file. It is going to contain a lot of logs, okay? And if I tell you in brief, what are these logs? These are the logs like from which particular IP this particular page on this on a particular website is accessed. Okay, like this is the IP from this particular IP. This particular page on a particular website has been accessed, and like from Windows 10 and at what time, what day. This is what these logs are. Okay, just a brief about what does this file contain. Okay, but it's going to be a lot difficult for us if we want to look for a particular word within this file. Now, how we are going to use grep for our benefit? Suppose regarding this log file only, okay, suppose there is a particular IP, okay, which we know that is an IP of an attacker, or we know that we want to know that what page or what request it made to our server, okay, from that IP. Okay, we know the IP of that particular server as well, that target, sorry, my bad, the attacker machine as well. Okay, suppose the IP of that attacker machine is this one. Okay, 81.143.211.90, and we want to only look for the records that are related to this one, this IP. Okay. Now see what I will do. I told you we will be discussing one small command as well, WC. Okay. What is WC actually? It stands for word count. Okay. And if we give it a hyphen L, that means it's going to count the lines within a file. Okay. Like how many lines are there in a file? If I do not give it any argument, and if I directly put the file name, it's going to give me a lot of things actually. So that is actually how many words are there. Okay. Now I don't exactly remember which one is the number of words. Okay. I will get back to you regarding that. But normally we use it to count the number of lines within a file. Okay. So how you can do that? You can use WC space hyphen L space the file name. So yeah, this first one is the number of lines within that file. Okay. So we have 302 lines. Okay. Now from those 302 lines, we want to see that particular line where we have those lines only where we have this IP. Okay. So how we can do that? I will clear the screen once again. We are supposed to use grep, and then whatever string or word we want to search for, okay, we are supposed to put that within double quotes. Okay. We can put it without double quotes as well, but sometimes suppose there is a space, okay, within that particular string. Okay, in that case we want to use double quotes. Okay, but we can use without double quotes right now because there is no space here or no special characters. Okay, but most of the time just remember that just put it within double quotes only. Okay, now we put it within double quotes, and then we are going to give the name of the file from which we want to uh, extract all the lines where we have this particular IP. Okay, so when I press enter now, okay, there is nothing being written, right? Because this IP is not there within this particular log file. Okay. Now, what we are supposed to do here regarding this grep only, it is asking us to find a flag that is having a keyword or word like THM. Okay, so we will try to do that instead of looking for this IP because this is not there. We will try to look for THM. Actually, THM stands for tryhackme only. We will try to look it within this particular file. So grep space within double quotes we have THM and then the access log. Press enter. See, we got one record and wherever it is in colored, okay, that's where it is finding that particular word or string, okay, and it is asking us to put that particular flag here, okay. So what is the flag? That the flag is THM access only, right? So I will put it here, THM curly braces access, again close curly braces, and we can just click on completed here because there is no need to answer anything here. Okay, so that's all about find and grep. Find you can use to find particular files. Grep you can use to find a particular word or a keyword within a file. Okay, that's how you can use the commands find and grep. That's all.